Now, there is a disturbing trend happening in New York City, which even Elon Musk talked about it. A lot of female TikTokers get punched in the street. And despite what you think, this is not normal. This would not have happened back in 2016. This still isn't happening in many other parts of the world. In fact, in my country, it's so rare that if it was to happen, it would probably manage to get it at least on the local news, if not on the national news. But in America, it didn't get on the television. Instead, it got on social media. And it happened so often that people noticed a trend. And it's interesting to see in the beginning a lot of left-leaning people coping about this and saying, well, maybe it's the same guy. And I was thinking, like, I don't think the guy is a Saiyajin to be able to teleport from TikToker to TikToker. Like, New York is a big place. The likelihood that it would be the same guy that manages to, like, find all these streamers and punch them on camera is very low. No, like, these were different individuals committing acts of crime for no reason whatsoever. And the problem is that if you guys look at how leftist ideology emboldens criminals, you can look at the video that the Young Turks unlisted, where Ana Kasparian is shocked that a person who murdered someone and then chopped their corpse and tried to hide it was released without bail. And because of that, other leftists attacked Anna and started going, it's like, oh, you don't understand how it's like to be poor. You don't understand how it's like to live a life where the system has failed you, etc., etc. But the reality is, like, when you have crimes like this, right? Like the people that are doing the assault, they're not trying to pickpocket the women. They're not trying to rob them. They're not doing anything besides they're punching and moving on, right? So it's a crime done out of complete malice. It's something that cannot be justified even by the most wise leftists in the academia. They do not even perceive that this type of criminal can exist. You know, like someone that does crime just because they want to do it. It's like the Joker from Batman, if you will. So now they're concerned, right? And you have like the women caucus stepping up, and they're like deeply disturbed and concerned about the widespread of reports of attacks against women in New York City that have been confirmed by the NIPD. And they're calling on the NIPD for an immediate and comprehensive investigation into these incidents, right? So all of a sudden, it's not abolish the police. All of a sudden, it's not all cops are bastards. It's police taskete. You know, reasonable. I mean, what else can you do in this situation, right? Except allowing women to have guns. I mean, that would fix the problem. I guarantee to you, right? If you were to allow women to have guns in New York City, starting next week, it wouldn't be tomorrow, in a week, right? Until like a couple of these incidents go on camera, you would notice a huge decline, a huge decline in women getting assaulted. Just over a week, I would say, right? But we're not going to do that. We're going to call the cops because, yes, the cops are probably going to teleport themselves into the area once the assault happens. Maybe the cops are the Saiyajins. Who knows? But whatever. Still, being tough on crime is better than not doing anything. However, here's what we see. The women caucus is deeply disturbed, right? We're encouraging blah, blah, blah. And you have like a politician asking, well, what are the men? Right? Like, what are the men doing? It's a good question. Like, yes, what are the men doing? Because if in Eastern Europe, I guarantee to you, like this is something that has a 100% prediction rate. If in Eastern Europe, in my country, if you go around and you punch a woman on the street, all the other guys around you, you aggro them. Like instantly, it's like you're going to beg for the police to arrive to save you, not to save the woman, and to save you. Like you're going to beg for the ambulance to come up so that you can be saved. Like this is unthinkable. We do not tolerate something like this in our society. But in America, it's a good question. What are the men, right? So as you can see, everyone is posting this picture, right? And I do remember vividly when this case happened. Because the left just didn't want to understand. They didn't want to comprehend that they were treating him, and they still are, as if he wanted to murder the guy. So, like, you had this person in a subway with a huge criminal rap sheet that was acting in an unhinged manner, and this guy tried to stop him, right? But what the left doesn't understand, and it's probably because most of them are upper middle class and they have never been in a fight in their entire life, is that the main reason that as a man you want to avoid getting into a fight is because fights are very unpredictable. Even when you're a teenager, fights can be unpredictable, but when you're an adult, fights are very dangerous. And in this case, like, the guy genuinely didn't want to suffocate the individual, but that's what happened, right? So, like, because he tried to save someone, and he didn't even have a gun, but because he tried to get the criminals to stop intimidating people, well, now he's like this, and everyone gets to see this picture. It was on national headlines, and everyone gets to see the leftist morality and who the public sides with. So the moral of the story is that if you do see a crime happening around you, like, what are you going to do? Well, you're definitely not going to want to be this guy, right? Because you also have a family at home. You also have a wife and kids. You don't want to end up in the situation where people on Twitter are accusing you because you tried to be a good Samaritan. So that's what's going to happen, But the thing with the left, and again, like, I'm using Anna Kasparian as the recent example, is that they generally don't understand that some people are unhinged. That they don't commit crime because of poverty. They don't commit crime because of bad upbringing. No. When you have a population of 350 million, if 1% of them are just unhinged, and they are beyond help, right? Because that's the other thing. It's like they believe that the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors are like Jesus and they can cure everything. They can pull away the demon from you and send it into the pigs that run into the river. No, okay? Like, there are certain cases that are absolutely hopeless. And I'm telling you this as a doctor. Like, there are people that are beyond help. It's unfortunate. Not a lot of them, but a significant number enough that if you have, like, a population of 350 million and 1% of these people are unhinged, well, you have a problem. And if you're not willing to address it, if you don't have a solution for the problem, if you don't even want to talk about it, well, you get this. And you don't even need people that are unhinged. Like, all of us went to school, and all of us know that there is such a thing as the school bully. And, in the American mainstream media, it's like, well, the bully grew up in a difficult household, and in some cases, yes, but in some cases, no. Like, I knew school bullies that just like getting off on it, and they had, like, a perfect environment at home. Some of them may even have been too spoiled, right? So you have, like, these bullies that they like causing violence. There is no justification, no explanation. They just like doing it. There's no reasoning, right? Now, in the case of the bully that just likes doing this, the only solution is the stick. Like, the solution is, like, if you do it, there's consequences. Now, when you actually see that, okay, well, if the long arm of the law, if I do it, I get arrested, well, maybe I shouldn't. But when you see this, like, what message are you sending to the bullies? What message are you sending to the criminals when you show this? And this is all over the papers, and this is what they get to see, huh? This is how you get to this place. Again, you need to compare how New York is today with how New York was 10 years ago, and see what changed during those 10 years, and hopefully try to revert the changes. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.